Here on the Las Vegas Strip, what's your name, sir?
Puffy,
Puffy, what's going on? In relationships, 50-50, do you agree with that?
guys, I'm 50-year-old man, and don't believe the hype, dude. If she don't want to go 50-50, don't be with no woman. That is a load of crap. First of all, I'm gonna tell you something. I interviewed over three. I do the same thing as these guys. I've interviewed over 3,000 women. Women do not care about how much money you make. They do not care about your height. They do not care about anything. They care about how much money you make, how tall you are, how good looking you are. Let me explain. It's called the alpha beta rule. Women make rules for betas and they break them for alphas. I've never bought a woman a free cup of water.
Okay. Hey, give us some game then. So what you buy him then?
I'm buying nothing. They should be buying me something.
That sounds like some game right here. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't believe in that stuff. A woman, I'm telling you, I showed them, those girls. When you say most of them pretty nice looking,
Yeah, they all nice looking.
I got them to do a free interview, and our interviews are about one thing: sex, nothing else. Period. Never, nothing. I ain't gave them nothing. In fact, a lot of them offer me drinks afterwards.
How long you been doing this?
I'll be 4 years in August.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you a question. 9 to 5 or entrepreneur, which lane you think is best?
My grandfather was a millionaire, and he told me this a long time ago. He said, hourly and salary is slavery.
It is. Why do you think some people like the slavery route?
Because they've never been taught. People have confused income with wealth. They think, oh, I make $80,000 a year. Yeah, but if you make $80,000 a year, $100,000, $200,000 a year, don't mean nothing if you're spending it. But if you have to be an entrepreneur, you have to work your way up. You understand how money works. The only way you ever make money in life, you must understand how money works and then how to get money to work for you. Let me explain. There's 2 books out there everybody should read. The Millionaire Next Door and I Will Teach You How to Be Rich. The first book is called The Millionaire Next Door. It will teach you how money works. After reading that book, you'll never be broke a day of your life. The second book is I Will Teach You How to Be Rich. It will teach you how to get money to work for you. Warren Buffett put it best. You have never made a penny a day of your life until you made it while you sleep.
Yeah. So what does that mean? I know what that means. Can you let the viewers know?
Absolutely. It goes like this. So say you have some money, right? You have a choice. Okay? You can A, buy some shoes. B, you can put that money into a Roth. You take that money every month. You max out, you invest it into your Roth IRA. So for under 50, it's $7,500 a year. You break that down to a monthly payment. At the end of the year, it maxes out, and you reset that every year. That money grows tax-free to the day you die. That is the greatest thing you can do with your life. Or you can spend that money on some Jordans.
Hey, we be saying that in our video. They'll stand in line for Jordans, but they won't stand out there for their own thing. They won't cut grass or wash cars on their own.
I was born and raised in a garbage can. The biggest lie is this: I won't do it for that amount of money. I will do it for any amount of money because it ain't the money you make, it's what you do with it.
So if you had $100,000, what would you do in this kind of economy in this market?
Oh, that's easy. $50,000 I'd put down on a fourplex, and the other $50,000 are going to the S&P. I'd put the rest of the S&P. Of course, I max out my Roth, and then I put half of the what's ever left, 18,000, into the brokerage account, and then I put the final 25 in a high yield savings account so I can have cash on hand.
Hey, he's giving real game. Yeah, I own a bunch of real estate, so I'm on that. I'm on that wave too. That's cool. Hey, invest in real estate. Why do you think some people are scared to invest in real estate?
Because people are scared to be laughed at. But let me tell you something. If you stop caring what people think, you can raise an army and conquer the world.
You think it's mostly our culture that cares about what people think?
It's all cultures, I can tell you that. In fact, I think we have the least amount of other cultures. We have the, because you hear, oh, I want to get my kid into the right private school. I want to get my kid in the right college. Who cares? No one cares. I tell this to people till I go blue in the face. No one gives a damn about you if you think about it. Because when their kids can't eat, they worried about their kids eating. They ain't worried about your kids eating. Worry about yourself. If you put yourself first, you can take care of everyone second.
Okay. Any more wise words for our viewers out here? Some game that you can give them?
You mean about girls or you about finance?
Financing. Because girls, if you get the money, you get the girls, right?
You don't need money to get girls, but I will give you this about finances. This is legit. Index funds. That is all you need to understand. If you want to figure out how to invest, just do a 20 to 25% off of your take-home pay. Pick two index fund. I recommend VOO and QQQM, and that's it. And let that sit there for 20 years. Once you get enough money for a down payment on a fourplex house hack, and you'll be retired in 10 years.
So yeah, so I'm gonna touch on this. House hacking is when you stay in one building and you rent out the other ones. You stay in there a year or two or three, whatever. Save your money. Get a single family. The unit you was in, rent that out. Let the fourplex pay for your single family. Correct?
Correct, but I would say get another fourplex and do it again. At least two of them. At least have 8 units before you decide what you want to do. And finally, I also recommend renting. Never buy a home because you never want to buy a home. This is my personal thing because it's just a scam. The thing about do you know what the word mortgage means?
I know. It's like a French or some German.
It means death pledge.
Yeah.
That should all you should know about what a mortgage is. But what I'm saying, if you rent, you ain't got to worry about the plumbing, you ain't got to worry about the roof. And if you decide like I'm going to, when I'm ready to retire, I'm out of here, I'm headed to the DR. You ain't tied down to a house. There's a saying, it's called house poor. Look it up. It is a fact.